I don't even know what. I'm not even going to play. But in case I play, this is what it'll sound like. Thank you. What's up?
Not much, you?
Well,
been roasting mellows? You've been roasting? Sorry, it was stupid, but it made me chuckle. But guess what Sarah's coping mechanism is?
Laughing instead of crying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Usually a healthy amount of both, but yeah.
Fire it up!
Is for balloons at your birthday party. That was a good one, everybody. C is for cookies. They are so tasty, but they're just a sometime snack.
oh.
And D is for divorce. That your parents filed for.
Jeez.
D is for divorce.
No, I know, and I love my new little pipe. It's super cute. It's just Twist
E is for
cartridges.
Oh, nice. With them, all they do is fight and fight all day.
Yeah, it's funny. It looks like one of my favorite woods that I like to use.
You are feeling, 'cause the pain inside won't go away. She is for the good times that are over.
Started.
I'm ready.
Hello, everybody. We're about to start.
Have a riff, sir.
Yes.
Hey, Twitch and YouTube, it's that time again. It's Tuesday night. Let's get ready for the Digital Slumber Party with Amber, Irish, and Anthony Kapfer.
Digital Slumber Party. Coming live from Los Angeles. You know what that means? It's gonna be a hot one. Here's Amber Irish. Hey.
Hi. What's up?
That was about as much as I could muster up to be entertaining.
Super topical. Yeah.
I was lying. It's not going to be a hot one. We're just going to complain the whole night.
I know. For everyone who was watching last week, we said, hey, we're going to start watching the top 10 funniest movies.
No, not yet.
Yeah, we didn't do that.
We didn't watch any movies.
We were a little preoccupied. So if you prepared, we will talk about...
Did anybody watch the movie?
What movie was it? The Grand Budapest Hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys watch that. Don't spoil it for me.
Oh, you've never seen it?
I've never seen it, no.
If you watched it, put it in the chat. Let us know how disappointed you are. If nobody watched it.
I want to watch. I don't want my perception to be influenced by trying to just
No, I mean disappointed that we're not talking about it.
Oh yeah.
Now.
Yeah, also, if you tell us that you're disappointed while we're going through literally a natural disaster, then that's actually bullying, and we will report you to the police.
Yes. I was just curious if anybody watched it, because then if we decide when we start doing the movie things, if we want to do a different list, we can. But if people started watching...
Yeah. We should make a list. That's what we should do. We should make a list on this show.
I was thinking about that, too, because if we... make a list, then we can make sure that we don't have to rent a bunch of movies just to talk about them. If we just do, Time Out New York or whatever top 10 movies, we're gonna have to probably pay for them.
That's true. And if it's Time Out New York, then they might just all be Woody Allen movies, and I refuse.
Manhattan,
so thank you.
Annie Hall. I don't really know any other ones.
But yeah, so we will be talking about Los Angeles current events tonight. So if you guys wanted,
right what you know.
Yeah. So now's a good time to do a little Irish goodbye and dip out. And I actually can use that term because my last name is Irish. So
they named it after you.
They did. Yeah, I was like. I'm the origination of the Homer meme where he's like,
"Oh yeah, just into the bushes."
The bush. Yeah, that's what I do.
That's you.
Yeah. How have you been, Anthony?
Oh, pretty good. Just hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not been the best week.
No.
The first few days, the fire was spreading, and that gets scary because you don't know how far. I mean, it's terrible for the people that it has already spread to, but you're also keeping an eye on it to see if it's going to spread to you, and that's scary when it starts moving closer. But we were okay. We lucked out where we are. Sort of. We didn't actually have to leave, which was nice. Fire didn't really come this way. But now all of the air is, the quality of the air is, it's not getting any better.
It's not getting any better.
LA. It's not just smog. Now it's whatever has burned in these fires. So it's been pretty stressful because we were already like, when we go out somewhere, wear a mask because there's still COVID around, and then what are the new pandemics?
They're not new, but they're all kind of happening at the same time. So it's
we got
COVID,
bird flu,
norovirus.
That's
I don't know why they're
you shit in the sink.
And vomit uncontrollably at the same time.
Shit. I guess it's shit in the toilet, vomit in the sink at the same time, right?
I guess if you can project that far, yeah, that'd be pretty impressive.
We got those pandemics going on, so we were, wearing masks, and then trying to find a lot of restaurants where you could, where they have outdoor seating. And guess what? Now, LA. You got to wear a mask even when you're outside. So I don't know.
You should.
No more outdoor restaurant seating.
Yeah. A lot of people don't. I was driving around the other day. Every police car that I saw, they all had the windows down
Oh,
for
yeah?
the last couple of days. We have a neighbor who she has been leaving her windows open all the time. She always
Insanity.
does. And I saw like, her windows are eye level. So as I'm walking by, I can kind of like see her living room, her desk out of my periphery. And there's like a box of cigarettes on the table. And I'm like, hell yeah, bitch. Go hard at home. Not even go big, go home. Just go big at home. She's just really getting all of it.
Might as well smoke meth.
I mean, she
Why
practically
stop at
is.
cigarettes?
Practically is with those windows open. So good for her, you know? Yeah, so there is a fire going on, a few fires going on. We are okay. Very like reminiscent of 9/11.
9/11.
I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. It's just like, there was probably a similar amount of ash in the air, toxic air that we all just breathed. I don't remember anyone wearing masks. Just walking around.
Nobody knew then. They were just. I mean,
No. Nobody knew
I also
that
didn't
breathing
know.
in toxic air was bad for you.
Well, it wasn't
Nobody knew
until Jon Stewart went on his, when he started advocating for those firefighters and stuff. I had no idea, being so far away from New York. I had no idea like that was also something to think about, and that ended up impacting more people than the actual event of 9/11.
Yeah. Not a good day.
Not a good day.
9/11.
Not a good day.
You know who was one of the firefighters who
Yes. Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi, yeah.
Buscemi.
He was
Every time I mention how I'm surprised that a man who looks like that got so famous in Hollywood, that's what you counter with.
That he was a first responder, and
Yeah.
because he was a firefighter before he was an actor,
Yeah.
and so he went back to his old what do they call it? Fire? I don't know. Whatever they call it.
Fire
It's not a-
stations?
Not a precinct, but whatever it is.
Station?
A station. He went back to the old station
Yeah.
and helped some people out.
That's
Steve
cool.
Buscemi.
Very cool. You know who helped out during the LA fires the first couple of days?
Oh, I forget his name.
Steve.
Steve Gutenberg.
That's it. Yep. Steve Gutenberg. How long has it been since you heard that name? I saw that and I was like, what?
A while.
Yeah.
You saw the news clip?
No. Was he like, check out my new movie? Streaming
No, it was-
on Peacock or whatever.
It was so funny. The person on the news had no idea who he was.
Oh.
They were like, he was like, yeah, well, I'm helping out here. This is my neighborhood. And the guy's like, what's your name? He goes, my name is Steve Gutenberg. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. So you're just like hanging out here, like he just didn't mention. He had no idea. He was like,
That's
oh, all right. So you
funny.
live around here, or
That's very, very
what do
funny.
you, I don't know if he asked him, what do you do? But it was very. He had no clue that he was talking to a famous person.
I love it. I know that he has a very excellent, cool film history. I don't think I've seen very many of the movies he's been in, but I did see Zeus and Roxanne. Did you see that movie?
No, I don't think that I know any Steve Gutenberg movie.
Oh, yeah, you do. He was in Three Men and a Baby, Police Academy, Short Circuit. I feel like you have seen Short Circuit a billion times. That seems like a movie you'd like.
I've recently I have learned that they did use some brown face in Short Circuit.
Mm.
The guy is supposed to be like, I don't know if he's supposed to be Indian or he's supposed to be like something. And he's just a white guy with a painted face. But I didn't know. I thought it was, he does a little accent. I thought it was real when I was a kid. I loved, but nobody really cares about the guy. Short
Yeah.
Circuit, it's all about the robot. I loved that robot, Johnny
I
Five.
have never seen Short Circuit, so
I was so sad when I realized that it was a white guy.
let me tell you that not seeing this movie and hearing you talk about it in this way, I'm like, so there's a robot, Steve Guttenberg, and a man doing brown face all
Yeah.
in the same movie.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, everybody was on cocaine in the 80s. Crazy. He was in The Big Green, which I know you haven't seen. I also
I
love
haven't
that movie.
seen, but I remember that kid.
Yeah, I think Zeus and
Big Green.
Roxanne was like his attempt in the late 90s to reemerge into movies because it's about, he's like a marine biologist living in Florida, and his kids have a dog, or there's a lady whose kids have a dog. He's a marine biologist. He works with a dolphin named Roxanne, and the dog and the dolphin become like best friends. And then the families like kind of meet, and he meets this lady's kids, and they fall in love. I don't think anybody else has ever seen it, but I will say it sounds like it's a better film than Short Circuit.
No,
Just because there's no
way.
brown face in that. So
Well, if you watch Short Circuit and you don't know that it's brown face, then it's a great movie. Well, you know what? Actually, I can't say that for sure. I haven't seen that movie since I was about 7 years old.
oh,
I don't know if it's actually good. I loved it though.
classic. That, well, Steve Guttenberg anonymously fighting fires is now that's his way of giving back
Put
to
it
the
on
community.
IMDb. He was himself on the news,
Yeah.
on the local
Yeah.
news.
So,
yeah,
but
I
that
don't
was
know.
cool.
Yeah, I guess nobody was watching Short Circuit for Steve Guttenberg. I'll say that.
Oh, well, no one
Police
was.
Academy?
Yeah, he was in all of the police academies.
Who the hell was he in Police Academy? So I have seen his movies. I just don't know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the other guy in all of these
He's-
movies.
Cadet Carrie Ma.
He's the main
something.
character. Main character in Police Academy? I remember Bobcat Goldthwait, and I remember the guy that's like, the guy with the.
That sounds like the robot.
That guy.
Sounds like the robot from the movie we were just talking about.
Short Circuit?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Steve Guttenberg. Well, he's a good guy. He's helping out here.
Him and
He's
Steve
on the
Buscemi.
news.
Yeah.
See him and Steve Buscemi. They should do a buddy comedy where they
Ooh, fight
clean up the city
fires.
together.
It's like a Lady and the Tramp moment, but instead of them eating spaghetti, they just clean up natural disasters on either side of the country until they meet in the middle.
Yeah, and then they pull up their masks.
Yeah. And then they just
kiss.
kiss quickly and then they leave.
Let's start writing it. We're in LA.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Let's do it. What's it called?
It's got to be something about. It can't be Smokey and the Bandit. It's got to be something with smoke, or fumes, or flames.
I think we could do a play on Steve's.
Oh,
A
Steve's.
Tale of Two Stevies,
Oh yeah.
Romantic, but fun, punchy. You can go, like, if you're on a date and you don't know what it's about, it sounds like a lighthearted movie. And then we open up the first scene, destruction, 9/11.
It opens with the towers being hit.
That's it. Opening scene, 9/11. And then we see that backstory for Steve Buscemi's character.
Just digging.
Yeah, and you never hear their last name. You just hear other people refer to them. Stevie, we got one over here. And then
We got one over here.
one of the other
What are they?
buildings. The other buildings that have fallen. I'm thinking big picture, Anthony. I'm
Yeah.
thinking let's move this
We got
plot
another
along.
one over here. It's not bodies.
No, it's the bodies of the Twin Tower. Oh, Andrew says get as many Steves as you can.
Ooh.
Oh, Stevie Wonder. Yeah.
Yeah, but he wouldn't really be much use.
All of the music would be by Stevie Wonder.
Okay, yeah, he can
The whole
do the
soundtrack.
soundtrack.
Yeah.
But he's, you know, if you were gonna put a bunch of Steves in this recovery situation, rebuilding, and I don't know about Stevie Wonder.
Stone Cold Steve Austin would be there.
He would be, yeah. I'd throw him in.
Yeah. We'd have probably Steve Irwin's kids helping out the animals.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Why not?
Yeah, at this
Maybe
point.
there's some wildlife that needs, there's probably some birds or something
Yeah.
that they can look after.
Yeah. There's like a whole side plot with Steve the skunk, and he's just making work harder for everybody. He's just spraying everything.
Steve the skunk.
They're like, Steve, or whatever line that they have.
Steve Carell.
Ooh, yes. Steve Martin.
Oh yeah, we got to put Steve Martin in there. He'll just be playing his banjo,
Yeah.
and he'll have the arrow going through his head, just to lighten the mood a little bit.
Yes.
And he'll do a little bit of magic
Yeah.
while he's cleaning up. So that'd be good for morale.
I like it. I don't know how this could possibly fail.
It's gonna be a blockbuster.
Yeah. What's a blockbuster? Nobody knows what that is anymore.
What came first, blockbuster video or blockbuster movies?
Good question. I don't know.
Probably there were some blockbuster movies, and they were like, man, if only people could watch these at home.
Yeah, but what block are they busting? Which one?
The same one that they're busting the ghosts.
Block / ghost busting.
Yep.
That's true. Oh, Sarah said Steven Tyler.
Oh yes, he can't sing anymore though. So what's he gonna do?
He just appears and has a scarf on a microphone. Everybody knows what that means.
And he's like, "What did you do? Yeah!"
That's pretty good. That's pretty.
Something like that.
What's your favorite Aerosmith song? That'll be the
So
like the
many.
title song, the song that plays over the
So many
title
good
sequence of 9/11 in this movie.
Oh man. Okay, let me think about what the best Aerosmith song would be for a 9/11 visual opening.
Yeah.
Let's see. You don't want something. You want something that's like maybe high energy. You don't want like Janie's Got a Gun or something like that. You want something maybe like. Maybe Walk This Way.
That's a little upbeat. Oh, Andrew is
upbeat?
saying "Eat the Rich." I don't know if that
Eat
is
the Rich. Yeah.
Sarah saying "Crying." A good one.
Crying. I guess that would. Yeah, that's a little bit of a power ballad.
Oh,
It'd be like
that'd
maybe
be
Toys
a
in
good
the
one.
Attic. That's an upbeat one.
Oh, "Crying" would be good. Like when the Steves meet in the middle, and then they have to take off their masks, slow motion. That's what should play. "Crying" plays at that moment.
Can we reuse the song that they did for Armageddon?
Yeah. Don't want to miss a thing. Yeah, absolutely, we can. Nobody's using that. This is once in what, Armageddon? Okay.
Come on. This is 9/11 we're talking about.
Yeah, it's the 21st century's Armageddon. That's what.
I think
Yeah.
maybe, Van Halen maybe would be better to have the Van Halen music over 9/11, I feel
Do
like.
they have a Steve in their band?
We got Eddie Van. No. They
Well,
had a Sammy at one point, but we're not
What's his
doing
name?
Van Hagar.
yeah,
think.
we're not doing Steve adjacents, so they have to be it's a Steve,
All
and
right, so
Stevie.
it's got to be Steve. I can't think of any Steven bands. We can get
Steven-
Steven Wright. He
I
can
was
tell
just gonna
jokes. He can
say,
tell
yeah.
a few jokes.
So what a great setup. We can like have him, you know, when we start sending this out in like the film circuit, when it goes to Sundance or whatever, we'll have him in the theater just doing maybe 20 minutes beforehand of just jokes.
Yeah.
And then the movie will start.
Stephen Wright, he'll be standing in front of the Twin Towers burning, and you know, he'll I don't know, maybe something like he'll be like, I bought some powdered fire, just add water, something like that, you know. And then I mean, this is just, I'm just spitballing, you know. We'll punch it up. We'll punch it up later.
Yeah, it'll be great.
That's like a, you know, classic kind of Stephen Wright
Setup and delivery. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Oh, your middle name is Steven.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow. I'm so sorry that we forgot about you. We've listed every other famous Steven.
I forgot.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that kind of counts.
Yeah.
I thought about dropping the Anthony and just being the Steven.
I don't like it as much as Anthony.
No. There's also the problem of it being Steven with a PH. So then, you know, people already don't know how they're supposed to pronounce my last name. So then if I put the PH in Steven, people are going to be confused about, is it Steven? Is it Stefan? Is it Kapfer? Is it Kapfer? Is it Kapper? Is it Casper? Is it Parker?
People are so dumb. You should just go by Steve, but spell it with the PH.
Has anybody done that where it's S with the E?
I don't know, but
Steve, I've never seen that.
I love it. And then when they say, "What's that short for?" Is that short for Steven? You say, "No, short for Stevia."
Stevia?
I did not know that I had so many fun thoughts about the name Steven until tonight.
I didn't know either.
This is
We've
my
had a lot of time to think about it while we're just indoors.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Just with the windows closed and
just
doom
circulating
scrolling.
our own carbon monoxide or whatever it is we exhale. We're practically trees now, you know?
We're pretty much trees.
Yeah.
Tree people.
Total tree people. Yeah, we do need to get new filters for our
air purifiers.
Air purifiers.
Well, go ahead and Venmo at Digital Slumber Party so we can get clean air and maybe some bottled water too. We haven't gotten any there hasn't been any news about not drinking the water here, but why not be safe and drink bottled water? And can we bring in air from somewhere else?
We can't, but I'm sure other people in this city can and will.
So go ahead, Venmo at Digital Slumber Party. If you want us to live, otherwise, you don't have to. Well, I'm sure we'll find a way.
Yeah. Oh, Andrew said freshly canned air, Perrier.
Perrier. I love it.
Yeah.
It's interesting to have been in New York for 9/11, breathing that air. Now I'm here. Now we got these fires. It's I'm not a smoker, but I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Against your will, are you a smoker?
So we'll see what happens.
Oh.
What if everyone in LA has been smoking meth? What if there was a bunch of meth labs up in the Hollywood Hills or wherever, and those are on fire, and the winds have blown meth lab smoke all over the place? What if we're all high on meth right now?
It's not that
Ever think about that?
I mean, not that great. I don't think it's that good of quality. and whoever's making it probably should go back to chemistry class.
Yeah.
Make something a little. If I'm gonna do meth, I don't want to like be aware of what's happening. Not good enough. Come
Jay
on.
says we would be getting more done.
We would have definitely watched that movie. We would definitely have watched Grand Budapest Hotel and had a lot to say about it.
Oh man.
Oh, Andrew said we're breathing in bicycles.
We're breathing in bicycles. Oh wow.
Awesome.
Wait, he said there was a photo of a bicycle that got vaporized in the I didn't see that.
I don't know.
I did not
It's terrible. I saw there was a video that, and I'm gonna recognize out loud to everybody that TMZ is not a reputable news source, but I guess
about.
I know
They always have they always have the news before anybody else.
I know.
Depends on what kind of news. If it's like a celebrity dying, TMZ has it before anybody.
That's because TMZ probably killed that celebrity, honestly.
Maybe.
Yeah, but they had this video of a guy who was in Topanga Canyon like today, and he was talking to some random hiker, and the hiker was like following one of the last bulldozers that was going to leave the canyon. And so the guy was like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm trying to get off the trail." And the guy filming was like, "Why are you? Where are you trying to go?" And he was like, trying to meet my son in San Diego." And he's like, "Well, why are you in Topanga Canyon?" And the guy's like, "Oh, I just was trying to walk up to like Santa Monica." The guy was like, "What's in your bag?" And the hiker was like, "Definitely not lighter fluid." Like, what? So now the police are investigating that situation because they're like, maybe that guy was an arsonist and he was going to try to set fire to parts of Topanga Canyon. Can you believe it? People are terrible. Terrible.
People are the worst.
They're the worst. That's why we need the Steves.
Except for we need Steves. Also, Dave's. Like Evil
Dave's?
Dave. Thanks, Evil Dave.
Oh, we get to breathe another week because of you, Evil Dave.
Oh yeah.
It'll be great. Also,
like Steve's and Dave's on this show.
Yeah.
What?
The other thing, sorry, excuse me, all of the smoke has been getting in my throat.
Yeah.
I just coughed with a bicycle. But the other thing that's such a disappointment, and there are so many things that are sad and terrible, fully recognizing this is very minor in the scope of things, but Baldwig had to delay the announcement.
I know.
A big announcement.
The biggest tragedy of this whole thing. On Friday, we were supposed to announce the reissue of the first album on vinyl. Because we got them. We got all the vinyl. We're ready to go. They all play. We got the inserts with the lyrics.
Beautiful.
Everything's ready to go. And then now this happened. And it's like, well, who's going to be out there promoting a record at this point? It's like,
so icky.
you know how many people, you know how many bands and artists just happened to have albums that came out on September 11th, 2001?
You told me about that.
There
Wasn't
was
it like Macy Gray?
Macy Gray's follow-up. That's why you never, she tried to say goodbye and she choked.
Because of the smoke.
Tried to release the second album and she stumbled because it was 9/11.
Yeah.
And we never heard from Macy Gray again.
Yeah. She just buried under the rubble.
Yeah. They Might Be Giants put out an album. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't have if they had known.
Wow.
But I forget what that one was called. But it's not one that did well. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, was it called Definitely Don't Have Lighter Fluid in My Backpack? Yeah.
So, we...
Well, now what's, good for you. You're kind of on the level of Macy Gray.
Yeah.
And They Might Be Giants.
So I don't know. We're going to wait a little while.
That's good.
But other artists are already promoting their stuff, which I feel like I'm not ready to see.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're not in LA, it's not affecting day-to-day life or anything. So
Yeah, I think if you're in LA, it's a little bit it could be navigated with a little bit of sensitivity.
yeah.
Because people have lost their homes or worse. So, so I understand. And people are going to love it no matter what, whenever it comes out.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. It's one of my favorite albums that I've made. Mm-hmm. And I've made a lot. I feel like I have a pretty decent catalog at this point.
Yeah.
And the first, I like the second one too, but there's something about the first Baldwin album. It's just, but like I mean, it was all, the way that it came together was so cool and so special. So like that, even though the second album I also love, I don't think that process was replicated as easily for the second album. Oh, well, the second album wasn't, the songs are fun, but the process of recording the album and putting it out was not particularly fun. It was like, it sort of was back to the same kind of process as everything else that I do. Overthinking it and trying to make sure everything is perfect.
You do
and
love
all that. It sounds the mix, really obsessing about the mix and putting too many layers on stuff, so making the mix harder to do. The first one, I was like, I mean, it just 1 week writing and recording and mixing, and I was like, you know what, I'm done. It's out.
It was incredible.
But it was just so fun. That's the fastest I ever put a collection of songs together out into the world. 7 days. And then the next day, it was released. I didn't plan a release. I was like, I'm just going to work on it, and then I'll send it off whenever it happens to show up on street. You just send it off, and then later that day, it was on almost every streaming service.
That's great. That's amazing. But whenever Baldwin is ready to make the announcement, people will be ready for it.
I don't have one near me, but I've shown it. I've shown it before. It's a record.
Very scary baby face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I should have one near here at all times so I can just hold it up.
Yeah. That's the thing, is when we were packing to evacuate, what a sad moment that must have been for you.
Oh my God.
To be like, what are all the important things? And then stacking them in front of all the records that you've waited months for.
I looked around this office. You can't really see all of them, but hold on, let me get my wide shot. But you can see some of the guitars here. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4,
Oh yeah, you hung
5,
a bunch of guitars
6.
on your wall.
Yeah, we've got 6 of them in frame right now. And there's like a bunch more over there in the closet. But I just got the office all set up, and I've been building guitars, and I got all this stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm probably not going to take any of this if we have to leave tonight. And then I did think about the records. I was like, man, we've been trying to put this record out. The original idea was that it was going to be out for Halloween. So we started over the summer, getting everything together. I remixed it, remastered it, made some changes to the artwork, did all the inserts and all that stuff. Really worked hard on the packaging. And then they sent us, it took like 8 weeks, and then they sent us some records that only play if you have an expensive record player. But if you have a cheap one, they skip a lot. So we couldn't we didn't want to put that out. We wanted to have one that played everywhere. So we told them, do it again.
Yeah.
And then we waited another 8 weeks. And we got them. And then we decided to make the announcement after the holidays. Because the holidays are not generally a good time. Looking back, the holidays would have been better.
Yeah.
I think. But then we waited, and then this happened. These fires. And then I was like, man, I'm going to leave these records here. They might burn up. All that work. And the records we just burn them up.
You know what is an interesting thing to think about, though, is if that had I'm glad it didn't happen.
Yeah.
If that had happened, your records would be like inside of people's bodies.
Wow, that's true. Yeah. Talk about connecting with your audience.
Yeah.
Literally fusing with their
You're
lungs.
living inside of them.
Yeah. That's a good point.
So just
And it's
that
pretty
perspective.
impressive. You know, like Macy Gray tried to put out her follow-up album on 9/11, but she didn't have literally every copy of her album destroyed in 9/11. And we,
true.
you know, we came close. Baldwig came with talk about rare records.
ooh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there you go. That's your marketing angle right there.
Yeah. So I guess we really should announce it pretty soon so that we can start sending them out to people so that if some of them do get burned up, at least they're circulating.
Yeah.
They'll still exist. Anyway,
Absolutely.
so yeah. We could can we market that? The album that was almost burned in the fires.
Yep.
You can, yeah. Then every time there's a fire anywhere, just market it that way.
Yeah. This record is hot.
When there are fires in Canada, I'll be like, hey guys, nobody knew how far it was going to go. Vancouver
This
to LA.
album is too hot for radio.
Oh, Jay said the album saved from the LA fires.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I like that. Everybody likes a story that has there's a struggle, there's a happy ending.
Yeah. Also, how many albums do you think we have in our lungs right now?
Probably most of them. It's probably a lot of record shops.
Yeah. Trying to see if someone named Dorian Gray said, "Hey, Anthony and Amber," from YouTube. I don't know who that is. I know who that is literarily. I don't know who this person is. Literarily? Is that a word?
Literarily?
It is now.
From literature. Yeah. Literaturarily.
Literally. It literally is
Literally.
literally.
Once I said the word longitudinal, and Anthony has corrected me in the way that I say words, and he did not think that was a word. But
I laughed. I thought you were making it up. To be funny.
longitudinally is a fucking word. So
I know that now.
I know, we all know that now.
But
We all
when
know it
have you
now.
ever? Is that a word that you have used
used?
before?
Yeah.
I've never said longitudinally.
If you're talking about directions on a map, lines on a map.
I guess well, you know, I usually get lost, so I guess that's probably.
Yeah. Well, maybe you should become a little bit more familiar longitudinally with your surroundings.
So is latitudinally? Is that
That's a
also word?
ridiculous word. Absolutely not.
Latitudinally and
Oh
longitudinally.
my God, you're
speaking.
so dumb. That's such a dumb word. Actually, let me see if there is a latitude equivalent for longitudinal. Someone in Twitch wants to know, what are your pronouns?
What are mine?
That's what they asked. latitudinally. That sounds like latitudinally. Oh my god, it is a word.
Oh.
It means in a way that relates to the position north or south of the equator. Well, there we go. We figured out new words on this Digital Slumber Party.
Yeah. We're all about learning. And if we have to learn longitudinally, we're happy to learn that way.
Yes. Yes. Or latitudinally.
Either way. We, AC/DC. We swing both ways.
Yeah. Yeah. I did a show once. I produced a show. The play was called Lonely Planet by Stephen Dietz, and it's a really cool show about these two men who are like best friends. One of them runs a map store, and so he talks a lot about maps and stuff. And the actor who played that character could not have known less about maps or retained less information about maps and how they function. And so the character has this really long monologue about the Greenland effect, which is like based on the way that we see a map on paper, on flat paper, they have to distort the proportions of countries in order to like make it work. So like Greenland looks a lot smaller than it is. It's actually quite large.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's actually quite large. And so so it's this like 2.5 page long monologue, and the actor, bless his heart, Sam, just would forget and then would like make stuff up as he was going, and he'd be like, "Oh, yeah, oh, thanks, Andrew." So inverse. So the Greenland effect. Greenland's actually much smaller than it looks on the map, like square footage wise, compared to other
Latitudinally.
Yeah. And longitudinally, actually.
And longitude, yeah.
And so Sam used to just make shit up, and his character talked a lot about the longitude and latitude lines, and he could not figure out which one was which to like save his life at all. And so that's the only way I know longitude. If they're long, they go from north to south. If they're lat, it's like lat, like fat, like a fat waist. That's what we used to tell him. And then
we could remember.
I guess, except he used to like say those things. Yeah, he used to be like fatitudinally. I'd be like, oh my gosh, Sam.
Some people say that I act bad attitudinally.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. But anyway, that's a little fun map knowledge for you.
Yeah, I know nothing about maps. So it's not my specialty.
Well, that's fair. You don't know where we go anywhere, like where we're going, how we're getting there. I don't know how you existed prior to having a smartphone.
A lot of just staying inside watching TV.
But like, how did you get places?
Hitch a ride.
That's amazing. That is what you do. You get into the car with me, and then you just are on your phone and you don't pay attention to anything. And I'm like, Anthony, where's the exit? And you're like, what? And then you're like, hey, do you want to listen to this Kinks album? And I'm like, is that what you've been doing the whole time? Looking for a Kinks album to listen to?
For the perfect tunes. Yeah. That's pretty much most of the times that I've been on tour. It was like that too. I was always touring with people in their car. Because when I lived in New York, I didn't usually... I mean, I had a car some of the time, but most of the time, I didn't have a car. So I would tour with people, and they'd have a car.
Yeah.
And they would drive most of the time. And I'd just be sitting there picking tunes. Picking my nose, picking the tunes.
Picking your friends. Yep. Yep. If that were me, I'd get so mad that you feel like you get the first choice of music in the car if I'm driving you around the country. Be like, no, we're gonna listen to the Hamilton soundtrack on repeat again.
Oof.
That's what it would be like with
Not
me.
gonna. What is it? Not giving away my shot.
Yeah,
Is that what it says?
that is what this says.
I only saw Hamilton on TV.
And what did you think of it?
It's all right.
It was all right.
It was fine.
It was fine
Yeah.
compared to what? A movie about a robot with a guy who does brown face.
Hey,
What is?
let me
your
remind you of how
comparison?
many people in Hamilton were slave owners.
Um,
Was that better? Are these people more likable?
Hamilton, the city.
What?
What are you talking about? How many
The
people?
characters.
Yeah, they recognized it in the movie.
But they're not more likable. I guess maybe some of them were opposed to it.
So it's
In the
about how
North.
likable they are. Interesting. So, what's your favorite movie?
Wayne's World.
Oh yeah, all of those people are likable.
There's
Yeah.
no brown face. Nothing.
I hope not. That'd be such a bummer. Mike
I
Myers
think
is
it-
weird now, though. Just in general, not like in a specific way.
He's not bad.
No, he's just like a little weird now.
Yeah, he's old. But I think the movie holds up. I don't think there's anything. I mean, we watch it pretty often. I don't remember there being anything that you watch it now and you go, oh, that didn't age well. There's
I
like
agree.
references that young people wouldn't understand now, but there's nothing that's like, ooh, can't believe they put that in there. Ooh.
Yeah, I agree. We were talking about like what movies qualify as comedies, and we're talking about how great that movie is. And I can't tell if I just have loved that movie for so long that I am totally biased. But
Probably, but
just
it
so
also
great.
is a great movie. It's one.
It's a very
It's
great
probably the most quotable movie there is.
Well, that's not true. I
No,
don't hear anybody else but you quote that movie. But I guess for you, yes, this is the most quotable movie.
me and all my friends quoted it for years. We probably still would, but I just don't. I'm not friends with most of them anymore.
They probably got sick of you quoting Wayne's World all the time. They're like, he's trying to make it a thing, and it's not a thing, and we've been humoring him for like 15 years. I can't do it anymore, man.
No Wayne's World denied.
Dang.
I
Yeah,
walked up to
Sarah,
my
mine
friends.
too.
I looked him right in the eye. I was like, "Hey, man, I'm not going to jail for you or anybody."
Buddy. Sarah said my favorite version of Ballroom Blitz. Easily.
Oh,
Every
it's the only-
version
it's the
of
only
Ballroom
version.
Blitz after I heard that, I'm like, why is this not just a video of Tia Carrera in like this super
We'll have-
hot red
Yeah.
suit or whatever?
We'll have to do one of these if we're making a list. We got to put Wayne's World on it. We got to talk
Yeah.
about it. We got to do a whole show just about
Wayne's
how
World.
good of a movie that is.
Yeah, let's make a list now. We have, I don't know, 5-ish minutes.
We're making a list now.
Let's make a list. Wayne's
that's
World.
That's one that I would put on it. We could
Okay.
maybe take some suggestions too. We don't have to use them, but let's take
Yeah.
some suggestions. Put it in the chats, people.
Yeah, your
we got people
favorite-
watching on
your
Zoom,
favorite
on
comedy
Twitch,
movie.
on YouTube. Put your favorite. See, I'll just say, and I'll comment on some of them. Okay, what do we got? Princess Bride most quotable. I don't know if I agree with that. Although Princess Bride is that when he drinks the poison and he's like, I built up a tolerance or whatever he says.
He does.
I do think about that scene pretty often. So that one scene maybe is quotable. Spaceballs I did not find funny, and I know I'm wrong. It's like when I say that I'm not super into Radiohead, and I think that Oasis and Blur are better than Radiohead. I know I'm wrong, okay? But it's how I feel. The same thing with Spaceballs. Not funny. But I'm sure it is funny. I just am wrong. I usually have good taste, except for when it comes to Spaceballs. Anchorman. I'd put that on my list.
I love that movie.
If
That's
we
so
were
great.
tossing out some Blazing Saddles. I also feel slightly overrated. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I prefer Flying Circus, the TV show, over any of the Monty Python movies. Maybe I'm wrong again.
Why can we not just make a list? Why are you making comments about this now? If the whole point of this is to set up the show for 10 more weeks so that we can watch and talk about things. Oh, boy. I have not seen very many of these.
The Jerk. We watched The Jerk, right?
I fell asleep during The Jerk.
Oh, okay. So we could, in theory, we could put... well, all right. So
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
You
saw that recently. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You loved that
It's very good. Tights?
I loved it at the time, and then I didn't watch it for 20 years.
I know. It's funny watching Dave Chappelle be okay with dressing up as a woman in that movie.
Yeah. For some reason, he was okay with it then.
Yeah.
Andrew says, I'm not a Mel Brooks guy. I feel like I would be, though. And then you list off all of his movies, and I'm like, eh.
I like Mel Brooks. He's very funny.
Great Outdoors, I have not seen.
Let's see.
The Jerk, I like. Robin Hood. All right. I don't know if there's other suggested. What would you put? So we got Wayne's World. We're probably doing Anchorman.
I love Anchorman. I probably would put Dumb and Dumber on there.
I love Dumb and Dumber.
I don't know.
You liked? I thought you liked. Do you not like? I thought you liked the Cable Guy, or is that just
I
me?
love the Cable Guy.
But you hate Jim Carrey.
I
in
hate
general, but you
Jim
love
Carrey.
the Cable Guy and Dumb and Dumber.
Yes,
Interesting.
because I can separate an artist from the art. I don't know. I don't know. I just, sometimes I find him to be a little bit pretentious with some things. But I'm sure he's actually lovely, and that's just me being jealous of how talented he is. Three Amigos.
I saw it.
Oh, Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers. We
Watched that recently.
did you? I don't know if you fell asleep. Did we watch the whole thing?
Yeah,
I
I
think
watched
you
the whole
liked
thing.
it.
I really enjoyed it. Is that a comedy movie? I guess it is a comedy movie.
This is the thing, because I mentioned Ghostbusters the other day.
Yeah.
And you were like, is Ghostbusters a comedy? That's not
I
a
don't
comedy.
know. How
And you feel the same way about Blues Brothers.
but like there's just I don't know if I know exactly what makes it a comedy. Hold on, let me tell you what the internet says Ghostbusters is.
It's well, it's interesting that those two specifically to you don't come off like comedies, because Ghostbusters was going to be kind of another. It was going to be like the Blues Brothers. It was going to be Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi.
The Ghostbusters franchise consists of American supernatural comedies. So like I think that it being a comedy is a style, and it falling into the supernatural is more of the genre that it's in. Like it could still exist if they chose not to make it a funny movie. But there are movies that I don't think could exist without the primary premise of comedy.
Okay, well, like Wayne's World. If you can't make that a drama.
Oh God, you could, but how terrible would that be? Ugh. We should do it. That'd be great.
We could do a fan edit where we take out all the jokes.
Yeah, it would just be Garth having like an existential crisis the whole time.
And then that one scene of Wayne where he's like, and you know what the worst part is? I never learned to read.
He's just always with the water in his eyes.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, Blues Brother. We can put Ghostbusters on here. That's great. I'm gonna just put all of this into like a random thing, and then we're gonna watch the top 10, whichever of these the randomizer picks.
Oh, you don't even want to decide. You're just going to take all the suggestions.
Yeah, that way we don't have to be responsible for picking favorites.
Airplane.
You know?
Airplane's a good one.
Airplane is good.
Naked Gun movies.
Which one? Just the first one? Probably just the first one.
Maybe just the first one. I remember liking all of them as a kid.
Is OJ in all of them?
I think so.
Or is he just in the first one?
Killer performance.
Ooh, too soon.
Oh, man.
All right, what else is there?
What else is there?
What other movie should be put on this list?
Caddyshack.
Caddyshack and Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day is good.
I don't like Caddyshack, so it will be interesting if we have to revisit this.
Yeah.
I will just complain about it on the show the entire time.
And then also, it depends, like, what is are we sticking to a time period? Is it all time?
Right, it's all
Are we
time.
taking into account-
Can we get some lady comedies? There's not a lot of female representation.
Bridesmaids?
That's always like the only one that people.
It was so good, though.
Very funny, but there has to be like more than one. Like, it's a bummer. It's also not the Lady Ghostbuster movie. Nobody talks about that.
I really wanted that to. I didn't hate it the way that there was such a backlash, because I actually thought that was better than Ghostbusters 2. But my problem, they had a great cast for that Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah.
And it just felt like they gave the actors the first draft of the script, and they were like, just shoot it. I just wanted more. I wanted them to use I feel like they weren't using what was funny about each of those people. They weren't using it at all. You could have just put any 4 people in there. You know, like in the original Ghostbusters, Bill Murray is being Bill Murray.
Yeah.
That's why you like Peter Venkman. And you got this great cast, and none of them are doing their things.
Yeah.
That was my problem with it. I thought it could have been really great. Oh, Borat, Hangover,
Borat.
Ferris Bueller. These are all classics now. You hate Borat, right?
I did not think it was funny. That's why it's going to be interesting to do this, because I don't love movies and I don't generally love comedies, but I think they're not for me. So
Yeah. Ooh, Austin Powers. Maybe I don't know. There's some that you love, but let me ask you this: how many of the Jackass movies are we going to put on this list?
we're not going to put any Jackass movies on this list, because I don't want to watch grown men drink 6 gallons of milk and then vomit and shit all over each other and then pretend like that's funny. That's horrible. And then in the next scene, they're all breaking their balls, falling off of buildings for no reason. Absolutely not. I can't handle it. Oh, Mrs. Doubtfire. I love that movie.
Oh, Mrs. Doubtfire is good, yeah.
Yeah. Jay suggested
Birdcage.
Idiocracy. Oh, I love Birdcage.
Idiocracy, yeah.
But I feel like it's too close. We're just too close to it. We're in it.
Yeah. That would be hard to... I haven't seen it since the world turned into it, so that would be... Might be hard to watch now.
It's just so upsetting.
Office
All right.
Space, if you want
Office Space. Yeah,
another Mike Judge.
that's a good
Sister
one.
Act. Okay. I don't think I've seen Sister Act, actually.
Really?
Animal House. We tried to watch Animal House, and you didn't like it.
It's because it's not for me. It's about boys being silly. Sister Act is great. I actually prefer Sister Act 2, but we can put Sister Act on here.
Well, if you prefer, maybe it's like The Godfather.
Yeah, I think Sister Act 2 is the one that has Lauryn Hill in it. Is it?
Okay.
Maybe that might be Sister Act 1. I don't remember, but whichever one that has her, it's great.
Something About Mary.
Oh, that's a good
Troopers,
one.
Big Lebowski. Those are some solid. This is going to be hard to narrow
Ooh,
this down.
Big Lebowski.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is a really good one. Which one do I get that movie mixed up with?
I don't know.
I get Big Lebowski mixed up with. Oh, we watched it recently and we were like, I feel like they were trying to just make Big Lebowski.
I don't remember.
Oh, it has one of
Trading Places, another good movie.
what is that? Trading Places? Isn't
With,
that a
it's with
Spinal
Eddie
Tap?
Murphy.
oh, I love Clue. That's
Clue
such
is
a great
great.
movie.
Who was in the movie that you're talking about?
The
That you thought
guy
was Big Lebowski.
the guy who I don't remember his name, but like at the beginning of the pandemic, he did like really scary, like weird, scary stuff. He's an actor. I think he made a video like
Randy Quaid.
Yeah, I think Randy Quaid is in the movie.
Oh, and this is a comedy?
Yes. Hold on, let me
I don't
see.
remember watching any Randy Quaid movies.
Maybe is it? Oh, it's Kingpin. I get Big Lebowski and Kingpin mixed up.
Right.
Yeah,
Is that Randy Quaid or is that Dennis Quaid?
that's Randy Quaid.
Ah,
But we were like, they're
Yeah.
trying to like mix up Big Lebowski and Dumb and Dumber.
yeah. Well, it was the same, right? The Farrelly brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same guys that made Dumb and Dumber. That's probably the best Randy Quaid movie. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Kingpin is his best work.
Oh, probably the National Lampoon movies are his best work for me. Zoolander,
Bill and Ted's
Ted,
Excellent Adventure. Ooh,
What We
one
Do
of
in
my
the
favorites.
Shadows.
One of my favorites. Oh, What We Do in the Shadows is good too.
I like that your mom mentioned something about Mary.
Yeah.
There's a long
You're
list.
not a big Ben Stiller fan.
I just don't think Ben Stiller is anybody's favorite actor. And he's in so many lead roles, and I feel like I'm forced to watch him, and I think his dad would have done better in all of those roles if he could have.
Imagine
I
something
think.
about Mary, but it's Jerry Stiller.
That would have been so much more funny. So much more funny. That would have been so funny. But he is directing
Severance.
and it's excellent.
Great show.
So
And he
maybe-
directed The Cable Guy.
yes.
Also great.
Yeah, so his directorial eyes are wonderful. Also, look at this weird picture of Randy Quaid that the internet is showing me. It's just him in a fur. Like, and that's like him normal. Anyway, Sarah said The Green Mile, obviously, everybody's favorite go-to comedy.
Yeah.
No.
Classic comedy.
Yeah, it's right up there with I don't know, Titanic. I really love that. Let's see.
Speed.
It's so awful.
I used to love that movie. Oh my gosh, I loved that movie when I was a kid. We only had like 8 cassette tapes, and it was like
Yeah.
Terminator 2. So I didn't even know the first Terminator for the first 15 years of my life. Wayne's World, Speed. There is a movie with Macaulay. He's the Page Master with Macaulay Culkin, which is like, yeah,
that
it's.
one.
Oh, I also had Home Alone, and then every Disney movie that came out between like 1992 and 1997.
Before they put him back in the vault.
Yeah, when they were in those squeaky plastic cases.
Oh, yeah, the big giant cases.
Yep. Let's see.
There's some good ones here.
There's some really good ones here. Oh, there's a movie called Booksmart. I don't know, on a list, Rotten Tomatoes list, from 2019.
I don't trust it.
Oh, okay. Great. Oh, Bridget
Beverly
Jones's
Hills
Diary.
Huh?
Bridget Jones's Diary.
Okay.
Burn After Reading.
Napoleon Dynamite. Some pretty solid ones still coming in.
Clerks.
Oh, Clerks is a good one. Yeah. Nobody said Super Bad, 40-Year-Old Virgin. Nobody said any of those. Any of that. There was some blockbuster comedies coming out around that time.
Yeah. I think that Superbad and like American Pie and so like those are all
American Pie does not hold up.
no.
No.
No, it does not. No, it does not. It was transformational for our generation. And then it became obsolete. Andrew said Dogma is better than Clerks, which I agree with. I love Dogma, but I don't think it's a comedy. So I don't think it's a comedy.
I like all those early. Yeah, I like Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma. I like all of those, but you got to go with Clerks is the most classic.
Clerks is the first. Definitely the first. Let's see. Oh,
like
Clueless. We're going to put Clueless on here.
Clueless.
Because that's a great movie.
I-
Also, everybody fucking called me Ambular for like the first, I don't know, 5 years after that came out. Like they were making an original joke.
Ambular.
Gross.
I like that you just are. We say some comedy movie, and you're like, I don't think it's a comedy.
I know. Yeah, I know. Everybody's telling me that Dogma's a comedy. I guess I just remember it. Like, I don't know. Maybe I just didn't think it was funny, but enjoyed it still. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Is that a comedy?
I don't
Really?
think it is. The First Wives Club? I don't think so. I think that sounds more autobiographical than anything else. So, A Fish Called Wanda? That sounds like a documentary. 4 Weddings and a Funeral? That sounds like a nightmare.
Sounds pretty sad.
Friday? That just sounds like a day of the week. I don't think that's a comedy.
It's not even a comedy. Friday is very funny though.
We should put that on here then.
I would watch Friday again. It's been a while. The first one.
Yeah. Galaxy Quest. I know Galaxy Quest is funny.
Now see if you said, is that a comedy? I would agree with you. I'm not sure.
I don't think it's funny, but I think it is a comedy. I mean, your favorite Tim Allen is in it. Oh, Murder Becomes Her. That's fun.
I don't know it.
I think we saw that recently.
We did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't remember that one.
Meryl Streep.
Oh, when she's dead?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was okay.
Good Morning Vietnam is on this list, which I haven't seen. Surprised
I don't think I've seen
that's
it either.
on here. The Graduate.
I haven't seen The Graduate.
It's not a comedy.
Is
It's
that
a
a
movie about a
comedy?
pedophile. I don't know. He's not a pedophile. They're just together. I don't know. Oh, the Grand Budapest Hotel is on here. Oh, Charlie Chaplin, The Great Dictator.
Oh, that would be a pretty topical one to talk about in the coming weeks.
Let's see. Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. Harold and Maude.
What a double feature that would be.
The Harolds, yeah. Oh, Heathers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't know. Is that a comedy?
Yeah. It's not my favorite comedy, but it's a classic movie.
I'm
Neighbors
sorry
Like
that we're
Fire.
going to have to define what comedy means for me.
School of
person-
Rock.
Oh, that's a fun one.
It's a good one.
Let's see. Hot Fuzz. Hot Rod. Oh, this must be...
Shaun of the Dead.
I love Shaun of the Dead. House Party. I thought this was like a list, and they just happened to have titles in the like similar alphabet. It's just an alphabetical list. I thought it was like a top 10. It's not. It's just an alphabetical
It's
list.
just alphabetical. That's
Yeah.
why it's Harold and Kumar, Harold and
Harold and
Maude,
Maude.
House Party.
It's a mad world. I don't know what that's on here. Kissing Jessica Stein. Kung Fu Hustle. That's a fun movie. That's a
Kung
fun
Fu Panda. It's probably next.
Nope. Lady Eve.
What?
Yeah. The Lady Killers is also on here from
I don't know
1955. A League of Their Own.
Oh, A League of Their Own.
Is that a comedy? Or is
Not
that just
really.
a movie that happens to have some funny dialogue in it?
Well, it's got Tom Hanks. And
Yeah.
that's good enough for me.
Yeah. That's true. Legally Blonde. Life
No
of
thanks.
Brian. MASH.
Now,
Oh.
okay, is that a comedy? Is MASH
The
funny?
movie was.
I don't know.
Oh. I never liked MASH. I got to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. Mean Girls. We're going to put Mean Girls on here.
You know, it's interesting. I read a long time ago. I read a book about screenwriting, and this book, I forget what it was called. I think it was called Save the Cat or something. It mentions Mean Girls as being one of the most perfectly written screenplays, as far as like hitting every mark on, like, there's certain pages where you gotta move along to the next act or whatever, and apparently that movie is so tightly written that it should be studied.
Oh.
I mean, I thought it was a good
Who wrote
movie,
that
but
book? Was it the person who, was it Tina Fey?
it was Tina Fey. Yeah, she wrote a book about how good her movie is. I don't know. It's somebody. I don't know the guy's name, but it's the guy who wrote the movie Blank Check. You remember that?
I loved that. No, I think I'm confusing Blank Check with Richie Rich.
You're thinking of
which
Richie Rich.
I've also seen Blank Check, and that's when he writes a check of $1 million to himself.
Yeah,
Cash.
it's just like Richie Rich.
It's nothing like Richie Rich. Richie Rich comes from established wealth, and he's trying to make
All right, well,
friends
this
in
is
a
new
hard
money,
world.
Richie Rich.
No, this is fraud, Richie Rich. This is tax fraud, young felon, Richie Rich, which I love. Good for him.
I just think it's funny that the guy who wrote Blank Check is like, you know what I should do now? I'm going to write a book and teach everybody what I learned. So that everybody can write a movie as great as Blank Check.
You know, I remember, though, being a kid watching that movie and thinking how easy it could be in this world to become a millionaire. You just got hold of one person's checkbook. I thought the bank would
So
just
if you
give
have
you
a
$1 million.
big- Go ahead. If you got a big checkbook, Venmo at Digital Slumber Party. Don't even put the amount. Let us fill in the amount.
Yeah.
Can they do that? I'm sure that we have the technology. Just let us fill in the amount.
Yes. Yes. All right. This is a really good list. Oh, planes, trains, automobiles. We should get more John Candy on this list. Anyway, we'll make a top 10 from the list of these
Yeah.
suggestions.
Did you jot down any of those?
I jotted
coming
down
in?
all of them. Yes.
Oh, nice. Okay. Got some good ones here.
Uncle Buck is a great movie. That's a good one.
Uncle Buck is good.
I haven't seen most of these, so
But that'll be good. I've seen a lot of them, but not all of them.
okay.
It'll be good to have some that we are experiencing for the first time.
Yeah, having a philosophical debate about the nature and definition of humor.
Yeah.
Every single time I'm like, I don't think this was funny. This is probably wrong. Everybody, we all need to just have them take this out of the humor genre, right? I'll create a petition. You guys can just sign it. It'll be great.
You know what's funny? Every comedy that we mention, you're like, is that a comedy? There's a movie I love.
Uh-huh.
It's called The Comedy.
Is it a comedy?
Not really.
Oh.
But it has Tim Heidecker as the lead. Tim
Oh.
and Eric.
Is it an anti-comedy?
Kind of. It's like it's experimental. It's kind of an art film. It's there's funny parts, but it also is a movie that I saw that made me want to make movies and made me feel like I could make movies. And I shot a bunch of short films, after I saw that movie.
Because it was like aligned with your art style, or because you thought it was not good?
No, I loved it.
Okay.
But it also was very loose.
Ooh.
It's like if this show was a movie.
Sorry,
You know,
everybody.
like
Sorry
if
that
we-
you guys are committing what is turning into a Lord of the Rings equivalent of our show tonight.
Like if we went back and took like all the best conversations we've had, and we like put ourselves maybe in other like slightly different settings,
Yes.
and we shot it like a movie, it would be a movie, and it would be similar to the comedy.
I like it. I like it. Well,
Like nothing really happens.
when does anything ever happen, truly in life? So there we go. Opening scene of our movie. Is this a comedy? Question mark. And on that note, let me just say, Sarah just watched The Room. So she has
Room.
watched the greatest comedy of all time.
Oh my God, The Room.
Unintentional comedy.
I saw The Room at the what is that theater in New York? The Ziegfeld. That's a big theater in New York. And Tommy Wiseau was there doing a Q&A.
Does he talk that way in real life?
Yes. He is a maniac, that guy. How is he a real person?
And he's infamous now because of The Room. They used to do at the Squire Theater in Denver, they would do like late night movies, and they cycled between Rocky Horror, The Room, and They Live.
Oh.
Yeah. Excellent. I went to try and see The Room and I fell asleep because it was so late. I was like, I couldn't watch. I had not ever known about what it was supposed to be about, or the whole like reputation that it has. And so I was like, man, this is kind of weird. And then I just fell asleep. And then they woke me up.
Tear me apart, Lisa!
Terrible.
Love that movie.
Well,
Cost $6 million to make The Room. $6 million.
next week we'll have Tommy Wiseau on the show,
He'll
so
be
you guys
here.
stick around. He's not doing anything else. He's
No.
fine. He blew all his money on The Room. So
Oh man. Well, thanks. Thank you
thank you.
for doing this.
Thank you. It was nice to be silly in a little piece of time when we're surrounded by raging natural disasters and toxic air. It's fun.
And so thanks to everybody watching and Comedy Home, Evil Dave. And we'll see you next time. Hopefully.
Hasta la pasta. Watch the news. If we're not here, you'll know why.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba.